Hi everyone, Charles from The Food People here. I trust that you're all safe and well. Our team of trends researchers here at The Food People have been busy analysing the current and future impact of COVID-19, and we've put together this special episode to look at the 10 biggest shifts within food and drink retail that we expect to manifest in the COVID-era retail environment. The COVID-19 pandemic is posing a staggering health and humanitarian challenge in all areas of life. The food retail sector and their supply chains have been particularly affected, with frontline employees directly at risk, and a demand that's either surging or evaporating, as well as shifting consumer behaviour. A whole new world is beginning to open up, and one that will undoubtedly change our opinions, our retail behaviours and spending patterns forever. These shifts are happening out of necessity, and the real innovators will use this moment to rethink and reset for the COVID-era consumer. So here we take a look at the top 10 shifts that are likely to be prevalent in the COVID-era world for the retail sector. First, we start with clean and safe. Customers in an anxious, weary world need a safe store experience in order to give them the confidence to return. To reassure about a safe and clean environment is key. The World Health Organization affirmed in recent guidance that it's imperative for the food industry to reinforce personal hygiene measures, to provide refresher training on hygiene principles, to eliminate the risk on food services and food packaging materials becoming contaminated with the virus from food workers. So some of the manifestations that we would expect to see are things like a greater visibility and even new industry hygiene standards and certifications. Things like the sanitization of in-store equipment, trolleys and baskets before each use, maybe even considering UV technology for this. Hand washing basins and sanitizers much more widely available, not just in bathrooms. Dedicated and visible cleanliness managers. We expect an evolution of workwear incorporating suitable PPE. Automation on doors, particularly on fridges and freezers to reduce contact. Tech-enabled controlling of the number of shoppers in store at any one time. Well signposted one-way shopping systems incorporating social distance. Perhaps digital physical maps of products on shelves for swifter shopping, and a renewed focus on the health and well-being of staff and colleagues. Then we have low contact and friction-free. Lockdowns around the world have created a need for delivered and collected food, with many pushing the button for online grocery shopping for the first time and indeed liking it. The combined drivers of anxiety caused by shopping in a physical store and the convenience combined with the comparative safety that delivery or click and collect provides makes this a long-term shift. A safe, contact and friction-free customer journey will need to be default. Some of the manifestations that we would expect to see are the continued scale-up of e-commerce and the development of that online user experience, the shift in space from physical store to digital store, the elevation of dark store and dark spaces, convenient storefront and dark store behind. Think about how the screw-fix model could be applied to food and drink retailing. Contact-free or low-contact click and collect lockers and drive-through store experiences. Does this perhaps accelerate the evolution in robotics and drone deliveries maybe? Local collaboration of suppliers for joint deliveries, and also local farm shops and specialist products delivered in a way that they weren't before. 3, now is definitely the future. Technology was already driving the future use of robotics and design, but that future has been brought by necessity into the now. There is a want and a need for greater levels of technology-enabled contactless shopping. For some of the manifestations we would expect to see, entry into store and payment via phone, trolleys that perhaps automatically keep a 2-meter distance between them, robots for information, in-store guidance and cleaning. Imagine deli counters and coffee counters served in a contact-free way, perhaps even utilising robotic. Real-time stock tracking so that consumers know the product is available, so no wasted trip and associated risk is incurred. New drive-through concept stores, no-touch automatic vending. Maybe foods badged not touched by human hand. Very obvious tamper evidence. More no-touch dispensed products that bringing your own containers into store, perhaps even staffless stores. Then we have 4 brilliant basics. With research suggesting that finance is a major worry for consumers globally, banks and economists are warning of the sharpest global recession on record. For the foreseeable future, price and value will be a dominant factor in an economic environment where commodity prices are likely to rise in the next 18 months. So some of the manifestations that we would expect to see are things like an opportunity for online meal planning for the entire weekly shop, for healthy meals on a budget without food waste, recipe ideas within specific budget bands, badging and communication of seasonal and local produce, tighter core product ranges, creating excitement with little touches of luxury, crafted and artisanal as a way of justifying value, more entry-level price points and products, and creating loyalty through minimum spends, coupons, and price deals. 5. Home convenience. Although lockdown restrictions will ease and potentially tighten again, the life and work patterns of many have changed forever. Technology means we can work from home on a full-time or perhaps on a rota basis. The usual commuting routine, a coffee grabbed, lunch on the go, and afternoon desk snack has been disrupted, creating an opportunity in retail. Some of the manifestations that we'd expect to see in this space are great home coffee, just like your high street favourite, making that easy to have. Ready to bake and ready to eat lunch and breakfast solutions, more substantial cross-day part snacking. Frozen convenience in non-traditional frozen occasions like breakfast and lunch. Snacking kits and boxes to get you through that working week. In-home healthy snacking. Own brand apps that integrate food, wellness and fitness, and kitchen gadgets and equipment for professional results. 6. The restaurant in-home. With the future of the out-of-home dining sector at present uncertain, there's an opportunity for restaurant experience meals and foods for celebrations in-home. Even though there's a crisis, we must still celebrate all occasions, birthdays, anniversaries, those lazy summer day garden picnics, barbecues, Friday nights, Saturday nights in, even Christmas. So some of the manifestations that we would expect to see are an opportunity for creating fun and excitement for all in-home occasions at a fixed price. Celebration, cakes and presents sent to multiple addresses to enjoy together virtually. An opportunity for restaurant quality ready meals and takeaways. Dinner party style meals delivered to multiple addresses for virtual get-togethers. Collaboration with a variety of chefs and food service brands to bring those restaurant experiences more vividly into the home. Then we've got tablescaping, plates, glasses, accessories and props to make an elevated experience of in-home dining. 7. The Corona generation home cook. Lockdown for some has been a time of exploration and learning in the kitchen. Recent Instagram favorites have been cheesy herby stuffed naan, dalgona coffee, the one skillet cheesy Cuban sandwich, or a no-bake caramel cheesecake bars are just some of the things that we've observed in abundance. Although some consumers are wanting more of a culinary adventure and want that to show it off in a social context, the skills of all home cooks have moved up a notch. So some of the manifestations we'd expect to see are consumers having a keener understanding of food, seasons and flavours as a baseline of knowledge. An opportunity to be the go-to brand for educating, cooking and recipes to develop the skills of the nation's cooks. A next generation in baking, meal and dessert kits. New types of pre-made and prepared items to help home cooks of all skill levels focus on regional and seasonal recipes. Global ingredient adventure across chilled, ambient and frozen. A virtual travel fix through international cuisine exploration. And the next level of cookware and equipment for that aspirational home cook. Plant-based. One of the biggest shifts in the last 2 years, with highly compelling drivers of planetary and human health and animal welfare, and now with an added relevance of hygiene halo. The plant-based trend is likely to continue to gain momentum, particularly if plant-based meat alternatives can compete with their meaty counterparts on price. So some of the manifestations that we would expect to see in this area are an outright leveraging of plant-based foods with a clean hygiene halo, clean label plant-based proteins, affordable, convenient plant-based solutions and meals, continued relevance of dairy-free milks, particularly oat and nut, familiar comfort foods recreated in plant-based forms, cracking that hard-to-do bakery goods and cakes in a plant-based form, vegetables and fungus cut, presented and named as meats, the continued momentum behind flexitarianism, great plant-based foods along with reduced but good quality meat and fish. 9. Health is well. Health has been brought front and center during the crisis. Many consumers are taking an increased interest in their personal wellness and wanting to be as healthy as they possibly can, but with a focus on immunity. And then, of course, the elephant in the room, it's that of body weight. As research shows the potential link between BMI and how the virus could affect you. Some of the manifestations, again, we expect to see in this space are things like gut health linked to immunity and brain health. So pre, pro, and postbiotics and fiber. Focus on products for mental wellness through nutrition. Help with sleep routines and exercise. Functional and fortified foods to support immunity with things like beta-glucans, vitamins D, C, E, and K, and zinc, all on the wish list. An opportunity to help consumers to change their eating habits forever. Healthy bodies at an affordable price. Continuing to support consumers with less is more, less fat, salt, sugar, and alcohol, and perhaps a new day part in active lunchtimes. And finally, 10, protecting the planet. We thought the unthinkable couldn't happen, and it has. The next unthinkable is coming. The coronavirus holds within it many lessons that could help us address climate change. Now is the time to act with environmental resilience and sustainability as well as economic. Some of the manifestations we'd expect to see gain momentum in this space are things like in-store hydroponic or rooftop growing, reducing environmental impact, the championing of local, seasonal, heirloom and heritage products and varieties, badging or signposting where consumers are making a positive choice around biodiversity across all food types, greater levels of front of pack environmental impact labelling, putting a greater level of supply chain resilience and diversity into contingency planning, the development of local supply chains and infrastructure, reduce and repurposing food waste from farm to fork, greater support and relevance for organic and regenerative agriculture, the continued drive behind packaging reduction and package free, and soil health becoming a consumer consideration and conversation. So in this special episode, we've highlighted the 10 biggest shifts and manifestations within food and drink retail that we expect to manifest in this COVID era. By considering these trends and how you as a business, brand, startup or entrepreneur adapt and pivot in consideration of them will mean that you're better positioned to succeed in the next normal in food and drink. So join our community for the details of previous and upcoming episodes and all the latest food and drink trend foresight. Visit thefoodpeople.co.uk and complete your details at the footer of the page. The next special edition will look at the new out-of-home landscape, and that's coming over the next couple of weeks. In the meantime, stay safe, keep well, and thanks for listening.